Maddie from Quiltsmart, and today I am going to show you about our flying geese. I just love our flying geese. It's made super simple, and the coolest thing about it is you get absolutely perfect points. So this is going to be what you're going to end up with, and I just want to show you some of the pieces in a variety of stages. This is what the interfacing looks like, and there are 5 of these sections on each panel, and in each pack you get 2 panels. In other words, you can make 10 of these sections from 1 pack of our flying geese. And if you need to make more, you can buy more panels too. So these are just a variety of stages, and we're going to lead you through that. But there's 10 strips here, so what you see here represents what you can make from 1 pack. So as you can see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and those 2 are the completed strips. So now I will show you how to do that. Okay, so we're starting by fusing the interfacing to the wrong side of the fabric. And just fuse like that. And then we're going to take the strip of the background fabric, and note that I've got this also, the dashed lines are trimmed kind of close, doesn't have to be perfect. And then you take this and we're going to put this over here and line that up with the dashed lines. And I like to use just a few pins and pin about 3 or 4 times through the, maybe every 6 or 8 inches or so. Just enough to hold that nice along the dashed lines. Okay, and then you can see we're going to take this at the sewing machine and we're going to stitch on each of these lines. We'll go do that next. So we're just going to start stitching from dot to dot. I like to start in the center, and you want to remove the pins as you go. If you have the scissor feature, this is a great use for that. When you get to the end of the line, just click your scissors and it'll cut. Otherwise, just cut it by hand and go kind of jump over to the next line and start again. See how easy this is? Pin got in the way. So we're just going to cut from the middle over to the edge, just like that. And you can see that what that's going to do there when we press them back. So just go along and cut. It doesn't have to be a perfectly straight line, but just between the 2 ends of the stitching. And go along and cut your whole strip. I like to lay it flat, but it's kind of a little bit easier if you pick it up too. So you decide on that one. Now the instructions show cutting from the edge, but I have found after making many of these that I like to cut from the middle. It's a little bit easier. And wait till you see this. This is cool. So you take your iron and just slip right down. And it goes really quick. And just open all those up, and that's your first side of your flying geese. Is that not cool? One reason this is so cool is thanks to Bill Reinhold. He's a designer and has become a great friend of ours. He's the one who came up with his flying geese. And you're going to learn to really appreciate his talents when you see it complete. Now we're going to put another strip on it, just like we did the first strip. And it's actually going to overlap that center point. I'm just ironing here the brown fabric to make it smooth. And a couple pins, just like before. Just to hold it in place. You want those raw edges even with the dash line of the interfacing. And now we're just going to stitch over the second set of lines, dot to dot, just like we did the first time. I'm going to just fix that up a little bit because you do want those edges to be even. Okay, now to the sewing machine. Okay, so now we're going to stitch on the other side from dot to dot, removing the pins as we go. Same technique, pretty easy, huh? And again, the scissor feature is great if you have that. Otherwise, just cut it and jump on over. And also start in the middle, too. It's a little bit easier that way. Go right through to the end of the next dot. And keep on going. Almost to the end. Boy, these little strips go so fast once you get the hang of this. You're going to be amazed. You make tons and tons of them. They're also great for borders around quilts, like our Lone Star or Tree of Life. Okay, so I'm just going to trim off the end here, the little bit of extra strip there was, even with the dash line. And now we're just going to cut from the beginning of one stitch line to the end of the other, just like we did before. Isn't that easy? And look at that. So I'll just go ahead and go cut the whole strip. And now, just ironing them open. Now you can really see those geese. Only one more step after this. I like to use a little bit of steam in the iron. Doesn't that look great? Okay, so now we are going to fold on that dotted line. You want to fold right on the line. You're going to have a better seam and better points if you do that. So fold right on that line. And then we're going to sew on the solid line. Note that there was no solid line on the other side, so you can't make a mistake there. We're going to sew on that line, and you're going right across the point. You can see it. That's one of the beauties of this pattern, is you're going to know even before you open it up that you have perfect points. See that? And you just keep going down the strip or up the strip, stitching on the solid line and folding on the little dotted fold line. Stitch all the way across. It goes pretty quick. And I usually don't back stitch, but I use a 2.0 millimeter stitch. Look at that, isn't that great? Almost done. We're just going to press it. Now you're going to want to press these seams down. And the reason for that is that you're going to be able to see the side points when you sew this piece to something else. So you'll be able to see if you've hit that just right, and therefore you'll get perfect points on the sides of the geese as well as at the top of the geese. Just give it a good press down. And I'm stretching it just a little, well, not stretching it, but pulling it a little bit so that I can really open those seams up. And just trim off if you have anything hanging off the edges. There we go. That is one great looking flying geese strip. Okay, now we're just going to attach 2 strips together. So these are 2 of the 10 strips, and you want to make sure that they're trimmed nicely at the dashed line. And then we're just going to put them right sides together. And you're going to be stitching right along there. And now we're just going to stitch across from the dashed line to the dashed line. It's very similar to where we had a dotted line, only it was split where we cut it. So as you can see, it's super easy to attach strips together, therefore making some great borders too. There we go. And look at this. Is that not cool? Beautiful. So that's our flying geese. I just love it. You will too. They end up being about 4 inches wide, and send us your pictures. We'd love to see them. Bye.